Have you ever seen the video, like the viral videos of the babies, like infant babies, not like they don't like grass, so their parent will
Don't like
hold
grass.
them like above the grass, bring them
Okay.
down, like they're gonna touch their feet to the grass, and then the baby, I'm
Uh-huh.
not kidding you, the baby will do like Olympic gymnast thing with their legs, just like flail out to the side, like they're doing like that pommel horse thing, or the rings, you know, where yeah,
Yeah.
the baby's legs will just do like splits or like it's doing like a martial arts move. They hate grass. They don't
Is
like
that
to
all
touch it.
babies?
I don't know if it's all
'Cause
babies, but I've seen enough viral videos and stuff around the internet about like articles about what's with the babies not liking grass.
oh, that's weird.
I don't know if it's just that it's a new thing and it's like touches their like its feel or tech. I don't know if it's texture. Who knows?
It could be, yeah. I think it might be just because, like, grass, unless it's like new grass, if you cut it, it gets kind of sharp. So they're just kind of like, I don't like this texture.
I don't
But
know.
if they haven't touched it before, that's kind of weird. It's
You
just kind
gotta
of.
look up the videos. It's hilarious. And if any listeners know why the babies don't like grass touching their feet, please write in and tell me.
Let me Google it.
I think it's just so cute.
That was the first thing I typed in. Why don't babies? And the first thing it says
Like
it's like
grass.
grass.
So see, people know. People wonder.
Yeah, it says the prickly texture and feel of grass is far different than softer and more comfortable feeling like carpet, tile, and
Mhm.
wood surfaces on their feet. Yeah, that makes sense. It's just
Got such
it's
little
odd
fat
that
little
they're
feet
like
too. Yeah. It just kind of reminded me of if you have like a smaller dog and you put the dog over like a tub of water.
yep,
I used to do this with my
overwater.
Pomeranian. Yeah. Put her over like the sink filled with water and they would just
Oh.
you try to and then immediately they just start like moving their little legs like
Yeah. Also,
paddling.
it's like a
It's an instinct for them to do that 'cause
yeah.
water, but I would just like to see how little water I could put her over, and then she would
Just
start
like a
doing that, or how far away from the water, and she would start doing that.
oh
I
my.
thought it was so interesting.
Did you ever use like a teaspoon or something like that? Like just like a small little puddle or something?
I think it's like I don't know if this is true or not. I think if they can see the bottom, then they won't. Like a shallow you mean like a shallow puddle?
Well, like if it's like clear water from like your tub or sink or something, couldn't they see the bottom of that
I
too?
I always had bubbles in it, so
Oh, maybe that's
I
it.
don't know.
Hmm,
Again, if
interesting.
anybody knows the answer to that, tell me.
Instinct.
Like, I mean, she's not gonna react to a cup of water or anything. Like, you can't
So I
just have,
think
like,
some
a
dogs have, yeah.
what?
I think I've seen videos of some
A
dogs like they
cup of
put over a cup of
water?
water.
Well, like,
Yeah.
maybe, like, a chihuahua that weighs, like, 2 pounds.
Yeah, I think it was like small
Oh my
dogs. A
gosh,
small
I'd
dog,
be
yeah.
so nervous to own a chihuahua.
I wouldn't want to step on it.
Yeah, that's what I'd be afraid of, because
This is
I
so
would not
little.
wanna step on it. Because I accidentally did step on Lou, my Pomeranian once, and I felt like the worst person in the entire world.
Oh.
But, I mean, it was so weird. I was going down the steps to our basement, like, family room area, so the
Okay.
stairway is completely dark. I can't see
Oh
anything,
no.
and she was randomly laying at the bottom on the tile, like, the very bottom of the steps, so I, like, stepped down, and then I didn't use all my weight,
Yeah.
but, like,
Yeah.
'cause all of a sudden I felt like, and then she went,
Fluffy.
fluffy, and then she yelped, and then
Oh. Oh.
I was like, "My baby!"
Oh, poor thing.
And then I was
But she didn't lay there ever again.
I don't think she did. Oh, I felt so bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I saw a post that makes me feel so bad. It was like someone compared to like a dog sleeping by your bed and you accidentally kick them when like they're
Oh.
sleeping and you accidentally kick them. They're like they think you just woke up to kick them. I was like,
Oh,
no.
no.
That's so sad.
Oh
I was
my
like, oh, it
gosh.
makes me feel horrible.
I used to flail around and when I slept at night, like
Okay.
roll and like whip stuff and kick.
Yeah.
And then I started letting my dog sleep with me, and she liked to sleep, like, nuzzled up to me, like, by, like, my hip area, like, my butt right there, like,
Okay.
nuzzled up, and that's
Mhm.
how she slept. Like, you could try and move her to the foot of the bed, but she would still make her way there. So I
Mhm.
think I trained myself to, like, sleep like a mummy, so I don't flail anymore 'cause I think I was so terrified of, like,
Aw.
like, yeeting
Like
her
flicking
across
her.
the room. Just yeet her across the room.
What the heck, man?
Yeah. So
Aw.
that's why now I just sleep like a mummy. I still do it, even though she passed away, I still sleep like a mummy.
Are you ever gonna get another Pomeranian?
Yeah, every single day I show Mr. Kendra videos or pictures of Pomeranians, and he says, "Buy one." And then I
You
go,
should.
I work. I have a full-time job. No one's here to watch it. You know,
But yeah, I guess that's
it's
true.
like a
Yeah.
child. And then you try and
Yeah.
figure out like solutions, and you say, "Oh, I could have doggy daycare." You're like, "Oh, well, that's just like an extra expense." And then
Yeah, that's a lot. Yeah.
yeah, but you don't want them to be home alone all day. That's just cruel. Well, I don't think it's cruel. Whatever. I mean, you can do what you want. It's your dog, but
I think when they're like
there's a
babies, like still
baby.
getting used
Yeah,
to
they'd be
it,
a baby.
that's different than if it's a full grown dog. Like they
Mhm.
should be able to be home alone
Yeah.
while you're at work. But
Yep.
like if it's a baby, I feel like you should have a couple
She.
weeks or
Yep.
something,
Then
like a
yeah, then
weekend.
the little baby dog won't be like potty trained or because it takes like almost a year. I don't know. I think it takes
Oh, does
almost a
it?
year for a puppy. Like
Oh
probably
wow. Okay.
probably like 6 months. I don't know. But I think I read once it takes almost a year to like fully potty train a dog.
Oh, I didn't know that.
But
Interesting.
I'm like, yeah, that I would have a 14-year-old puppy that just pees everywhere, basically.
Yeah, that's the
It's just hard.
that's what you should do is like have like a you should design stuff for like puppies and Pomeranians and stuff.
Design, what do you mean, like design a dog?
No, like
Oh,
toys or
I
like
thought you meant
clothes
like
or pet
become a
dishes
breeder,
or
Kendra. Just design
no,
Pomeranians.
no,
Like,
just like stuff for
ew.
puppies,
That'd be
like clothes and toys and beds and
you want you want me to be like the Tommy Hilfiger of Pomeranian clothes or something? Is that what
yes,
you want?
yes,
Or
it'd
the
be
Ralph
fun.
Lauren of Pomeranian clothes?
Definitely.
Honestly, that'd be kind of a
Mm.
fun title to own. Be like,
Yeah.
"What do you do?" And then I just go like, "Well, you know who like Ralph Lauren and Chanel and Louis Vuitton and like all that and Calvin Klein and all those
Mhm.
designers." They're like, "Yeah." They're like, "Do you work for them? Or are you like you a designer?" I'm like, "I'm a designer. I'm in with those names." And they say, "What? Who do you design for?" And I said, did you ever watch the American Kennel Club dog show that was on last year after the Thanksgiving Day parade? And they're like, "What?" I'm like, "Did you see the Pomeranian that took second place? He was wearing me. He was wearing my stuff."
That's pretty great though. They can't have outfits though, can they? The dog shows?
No,
Like they can't
the
have
after party. There's after
they
parties.
can? Oh, is there?
At the
Oh
after
my.
party, I'm sure there's a pre-game, probably like a like like a pre-bone and cheese and whatever soiree thing, and then they have the actual show, and they have like after parties probably. I bet.
That makes sense, yeah.
I
That makes
bet.
sense. That'd be cute if you could have like all the dogs like cute little outfits and just like on a red carpet. It's like
That'd be cute. Honestly, like that whole dog kennel, like weird dog show stuff creeps me out because the animal that's like the
hmm.
best in show is usually just inbred to crap. Like,
Yeah.
it's just so inbred. They're like, "Oh, he comes from this line and that line. Oh, it's a purebred, 100% purebred."
It's
And
so
then you
bad for
look
it
at it, it's
too.
like cross-eyed and it's all like with its snout, and it's like, kill
Yeah.
me. I'm in so much pain."
It's so bad. Yeah.
And that's the winner.
Welcome to the Foolish Wanderers podcast.
Why must I be surrounded by fools?
Welcome, Wanderer.
Oh, I gotta tell you this funny thing I saw on Reddit.
Okay.
It's super funny.
Okay.
So, what celebrity died in a totally silly way that could have easily been avoided? Pythagoras. So do you know everybody knows the Pythagorean theorem, right? That you learn
Yeah.
the very useless thing that I've never learned since. Or not learned, used.
Used, yeah.
Used is
I
the
haven't learned about it since either, probably.
yeah, not either. But I wish I knew how to do, save money and taxes and all that jazz, but didn't.
We actually
So
learned how to like write checks and stuff in middle
I
school.
did that, but
But okay,
I wanted
not
to learn
checkbook.
more stuff, like how to be,
Yeah.
Pythagorean. Anyway, Pythagoras is a dummy. All right,
Okay.
this is why. So Pythagoras was chased by a group of men who wanted to kill him. He actually outran them all and got away until he reached a fava bean field. It was part of his teachings that fava beans were unclean, so he refused to enter the field and was caught and murdered.
What's a fava bean? Just like
No, it's just like okay, the only other thing I've ever heard of a fava bean is in The Silence of the Lambs. Oh, and then Hannibal Lecter's talking, and he's like, "I want to eat you with some fava beans and a nice bottle of Chianti," and he goes like. So that's the only time I ever heard fava beans before, but it's just like a
Okay.
bean. It's just like a little green looking bean.
Oh, like a lima bean.
Yeah, like a lima bean. But I guess they were unclean and he couldn't go through the field, so they just killed him. So there you go.
Interesting.
It's real. Hey, it's a legend,
Yeah,
but like,
It's legend.
look it
So
up.
this is not 100% written, but it's
It's
probably what happened.
it's all over the place.
Oh no. Could you imagine being outwitted by a bean?
I thought no. No.
I feel like at that point though, like I'd still run. I'd still try. I still like
Oh, of course.
I
Oh,
mean-
there's some. Okay, so in the Scientific American, like researchers. So somebody's researched this.
Okay.
Somebody has a theory that Pythagoras, might have suffered from favism, an allergic-like reaction that occurs when certain individuals are exposed to fava beans.
Oh, so he had like a skin irritation to him?
Yeah. So
Oh.
Fauvism. It reminded me. It's spelled like that fauvism or something, like the art movement. But anyway, so Fauvism is a hereditary disease found worldwide, but it is most prevalent in the Mediterranean, which is Pythagoras' Greek, so Mediterranean,
Okay.
that area. The red blood cells of individuals with Fauvism lack G6PD, an enzyme needed to break down peptide glutathione. Oh my lord, I don't know if I said that right. Not a
fine.
scientist, people. I'm a designer. Since this substance is present in fava beans, the exposure to fava beans or even their pollen can trigger fevers, jaundice, hemolytic anemia, and death. So
He was gonna die.
he was gonna die either way. So it's like, suck it up and run through those beans. Find the closest. What's the Pythagorean theorem? Isn't it like trying to find the closest? It's a squared plus b squared equals c squared. So it's trying to find the closest or nearest line to any object. Is that what the hell it's about?
It's to figuring out the length of a triangle.
Well, he should have freaking done that and figured it out and run through that fava bean field. God, why are we learning about math?
You learn about everything on our podcast.
I hate math so much. It's only because I'm not good at it, that's why.
The mathematical law that states that the sum of squares of the lengths of the two short sides of the right triangle is equal to the square of the length of the hypotenuse. So you're basically finding the length of the hypotenuse to the long side from the two shorter sides of the right angle triangle.
All that blew over my head, but anyways, all I know that if I came across a fava bean field and I had an allergic reaction and people were trying to kill me, I would definitely book it through that field.
You'd probably try, but they'd still chase you. I don't know. Would it be worth?
They're gonna murder you. Like, you're gonna get pummeled.
Way,
you're gonna get pummeled. So it's like you're gonna get pummeled to death, or you're gonna die from an potentially die from an allergic reaction.
That's true. Potentially.
So it's like
could have survived.
So it's really like I'm gonna take the allergic reaction, I think.
Unless they followed him and caught up to him anyways.
Oh shoot! Yeah, you're right. Just kill you while you're having just curb stomp you as you're having an allergic reaction. You're like, oh please, that'd be awful.
Oh, that'd suck. Oh man, what did he do to deserve that? Like what? I kind of want to know what happened.
I bet he just tried to. I bet he was just trying to push math on everybody. Oh, another thing I found that was funny is the word for a young pig. Okay, wait. As a word for a young pig, the word piglet dates back to the mid-1800s. Okay.
Okay.
So before then, a young pig, a baby pig, might be called a hogling. It sounds like a Harry Potter house. Hogling. That's from the 14th. That's from the 14th century.
Oh wow.
Okay, here's another one. A porkette.
That's so cute.
That's so cute. From the 1550s. A hog babe. which is from the 1600s,
Not as good.
and then a gruntling, which is from
Aw.
the 1680s.
I think I've heard that before too.
Have
A
you?
gruntling.
Gruntling?
Little gruntling.
I think my favorite one's Porkette.
It's so
It's
cute.
so cute.
Porkette.
It's Bobby D and the Porkettes singing the 50s swing songs.
I just remember it was like, did you ever see the Claudia the Chance of Meatballs movies, the animated ones?
Maybe the first one. And I just saw like
okay.
the clip where it's like there's a leak in the boat. And they
Yeah.
go, where? And then it's the
Yes.
vegetable leak and it
Yeah.
screams. Yeah, that's funny.
Yeah.
But
There was a part in that one, the second one. It's so there's this like a butter toad.
what?
It's a frog that looks like a pat of butter.
That's cute.
And then and then there's what they call mosquitoast. It's a mosquito with toast for wings.
No.
And so I just remember, because like when you said porkette, I just think of the scene where the frog
Pork?
is like butter, and then the
What?
mosquito the frog, the butter frog, he ribbits like butter, and then the mosquitoes comes and drinks all his blood, so he shrinks down. He goes Parkay.
He says Parkay. That means
Parkay.
That means why in Spanish.
Parkay.
Yeah, that means
Parkay.
why.
Parkay is margarine. It's a margarine brand. Parkay.
What?
Yeah, it's a butter substitute.
Wait, there's a butter substitute called. Oh, wait, no, Parkay is Parkay because or why in Spanish. Whatever.
Parkay. It's Parkay. Parkay. Par is the butter.
Wait, what the hell? Why did a porkette remind you? Why did a baby pig remind you of this movie?
Because porkette sounds like Parkay.
How the heck did we get here, people? We're literally talking about a movie from like 2010.
Yeah, it's great.
What in
It's
the
great.
heck? No, 2009. You're talking about an obscure movie that they
Yeah.
took from a child's book and they just like completely stretched. Okay, the children's book is like 2 pages long, and then
don't like that book. It's
somehow they were able to make like an hour and a half movie out of like a 2-page book.
2 of them.
2 of them? There's 2 movies? Oh my gosh! Did you watch this?
Yeah.
Wait, so
I was in middle school.
So you don't like the book, but you like the movie?
I think it's just the art style. The art style of the books creeped me out as a kid.
What's the art style?
Here, I'll play here's the...
How are we talking?
Okay, look at this. This is the butter.
You pulled up the clip. I'm watching the clip.
Yeah, okay. Okay.
I'm talking about baby pigs. Oh my god. Thank you, Katrina. I never have to see that movie now because you showed me the whole...
You're welcome.
Thank
And there's a talking strawberry and a leak that hides out in their boat.
I saw the leak. I already said I saw the leak.
Yeah,
What's
there's a lot
wrong with
of
this
fun
art
stuff.
style? It's cool. They use a lot of cross-hatching to do shading.
I don't know. I've never liked
What?
it. It always creeped me out.
I love cross-hatching. That's how we do. That's not how we do, but that's how a lot of printmakers do block printing, like relief carving. They use cross-hatching.
Yeah.
And in etching too. I mean, that's just what you use to do shading. That's cool. Well,
Let me see the one that you're looking at.
I
Let me see
guess
if it's
I'm
the same
gonna
one.
stay away from cross-hatching then.
Why? Because I don't like
Yeah, 'cause
it.
you don't like it.
I didn't say I didn't like cross-hatching. I don't know why. I think it's just because, I guess, like, when I was read it as a little kid, I was just, like, afraid of, like, things falling on my house and, like, the ominous ending of, like, no one knows what happened to the island kind of a thing, and, like, because it filled up with food.
Yeah.
I think that's what I didn't like as a kid, so it just kind of carried over into adulthood.
You're traumatized
then
by
a
the...
little by the island of food.
You have trauma from
Yeah.
the island of food from Cloudy and the Chance of Meatballs. You know
Yep.
what? I have trauma from if you give a mouse a cookie.
Did you really?
No, I
Oh.
don't.
Well, I
It'd
don't
be
know.
funny if I did. I'd be like,
I think I have that book
oh
still.
my god. I bet my mom has it somewhere in some box. If you give a mouse a cookie.
Hey Wanderers, welcome back to the Foolish Wanderers podcast, the podcast about anything and everything. Today, we're talking about the Georgia Guidestones.
Cool. Yeah. Ooh. Big rocks.
Big
Giant,
creepy monolithic rocks.
big
Not
giant
locks,
rocks.
rock.
I guess let's just get into it then. Okay. Have you heard of the Georgia Guidestones before?
I kind of feel like I've seen it in passing and just kind of was like, oh, that's creepy. Next. just kind of was like, I don't care to be freaked out in like apocalyptic nightmares. So
It could. Okay, so it could be apocalyptic nightmares, but it could also not be. Nobody really knows for sure what they're for, but there's like a consensus that they are for to help guide society in case of like a post-apocalyptic thing, like to rebuild society. So
okay.
that's what people like. How I learned about these is I saw them on Reddit.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was just like a screenshot, and it was like these stones are guides for to help rebuild civilization in case of a post-apocalyptic breakdown of society. So I was like, oh, weird,
Sick.
sick.
Cool.
So then I sort of got into this. But they are
Interesting.
real, so now they're kind of just like this creepy roadside attraction in the middle of the state of Georgia in the United States.
So you can like drive up and read them.
Yeah, you can read them. It'd be kind of creepy too, but
Just stand
Yeah.
there. It's like, hey, family, we're gonna go on a road trip. We're gonna go read apocalyptic guide rules.
in the middle of Georgia, woo,
Woo.
peanut country. So they have a lot, don't they? They have like a lot of peanuts there, peanut farms.
Do they? I don't know.
Jimmy Carter, the old United States president.
Mhm.
Yeah, he was peanut farmer.
Okay.
Yeah,
In Georgia?
from Georgia. Yeah.
Cool.
Anyway, we're getting back to the Doomsday Stonehenge. That's what the Georgia Guidestones have been called.
Oh, Stonehenge?
Like
Okay.
Doomsday Stonehenge, or they've been called
Okay.
like the United States Stonehenge. But I'm like, no, don't call it
That's
that.
not as
Don't call
good.
it that.
Carhenge is better.
Or
than
I just
this.
call it like 20 feet of granite. But so this odd, mysterious monument, it's located 90 miles east of Atlanta. So like a huge day trip. So instead of visiting the beautiful city of Atlanta with all its culture and music, and they've got the Coca-Cola headquarters, you can go
Ooh,
taste all the Cokes from around the world. You can go drive, 90 miles to the middle of nowhere to see this Doomsday Monument. So it also, I just learned this like the other day about when I was doing research about these things. They have a lot of other weird features. So they have a built-in channel in the rock that indicates the celestial pole, which is a horizontal slot that shows the annual travel of the sun. And it has a system that's able to mark noontime throughout the year. So every time it gets to noon, the sun will beat in through like this little hole. Yeah, it's like a certain hole, and then it like lights up underneath the guide stones in the center, makes like a spotlight.
Interesting.
Yeah, so the person that was hired to make this, they got help from the University of Georgia. They got some astronomers and physics people to help figure this out. Do some ancient Egyptian stuff. Because the ancient Egyptians would do stuff like this too in their monuments as well. They'd have like
like the
markers and so like obelisks and stuff. They would have it like, oh, on this certain day to mark this day, like this certain special day, the sun will be exactly here.
Oh yeah,
Stuff like that.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
So we're gonna get into this thing, okay? So I'm going to set the scene. It's a warm day in June in the year of 1979 when a well-dressed gray-haired man under the pseudonym of R.C. Christian, he entered Elberton County, Georgia. So this stone is technically in Elberton, which is a small town, middle of Georgia, but it's not in the city. It's like in the middle of nowhere on some farmland. So it's technically Elberton County, Georgia. Okay. So he approached the Elberton Granite Finishing Corporation. So another fun fact, Elberton, Georgia is considered the United States capital of granite. So that's what they do. They do granite.
That's cool.
That's cool. It's cool to be known for something.
I mean, like, where else would you go then to build this thing?
Egypt? I don't know.
But it's freaking US, right?
Yeah, But anyway, so he goes into the Elberton Granite Finishing Corporation. He meets President Joe H. Fendley Sr. about the potential cost of building a monument of, and he says, substantial size. Okay. And he explains, R.C. Christian explains that he represented a small group of loyal Americans, and then he says, this is a quote, who were foreign to Georgia and had been working on a 20-year-long project as a message for future generations.
I don't like that.
Isn't that kind of creepy?
That's really creepy. I don't like that.
And like, so this is like 1979. It's in the middle of like the summer, June. Well, not the middle of summer, but anyway, June, summer, hot. It's in Georgia. You're in the South. This
Yeah,
guy in this suit just enters like the small town, like, and nobody knows who he is. And if you grew up in a small town, everybody knows who everybody is.
For the most part.
For the most part, yeah.
For the most part.
And it's kind of weird already, wearing a suit in the middle of June, going in, being a stranger, walking into this little town. And being like, I have a project of substantial size. and then say that creepy message. Okay, alright. So, yeah, 20-year-long project that they are apparently working on. So, R.C. Christian explained that the stones would function as a compass, calendar, and clock, and should be capable of this is another quote that he said, like, that allegedly he said, of withstanding catastrophic events. Dun, dun, dun.
Okay.
So Joe Fendley of Elberton, Granite assumed that Christian was, quote, a nut, end quote, and attempted to discourage him by providing a quote for the commission, which was several times higher than any project the company had previously taken on.
I mean, makes sense.
Makes sense.
Trying to, like...
Plus, you don't even know if this guy has money or not.
That's true, yeah. Like,
and also... Fendley said that the Guidestones will require additional tools and consultants because he wants a compass and a calendar and a clock and all this other stuff built into it.
Yeah, that's a lot of...
Weird.
I'd be really sketched out if I was commissioned to do this.
So anyway, this Joe Fendley, he tries to discourage him, being like, this is a quote, like, this is crazy, but here we go. Like, trying to be like, leave, don't do this. And to Fendley's surprise, R.C. Christian accepted the quote. So Fendley immediately put him in touch with his banker, Wyatt C. Martin, who from the Elberton, like in the Elberton Bank. So both men were then sworn to secrecy to never reveal who R.C. Christian was. So R.C. Christian had all this money, like he really did have money. And he gave it to the bank, and everything was set up. Okay, so they're like, oh, okay. So if you have a small business, and this guy just gives you an exorbitant amount of money to do this kind of like weird project, like something you've never done before, but I mean, you'd probably take it, right?
I feel like for the most part you take it, unless it's something like you know is going to end up bad, like going to hurt a lot of people. I feel like you'd take it, which this doesn't seem like it's ever hurt anybody.
Yeah.
So,
but it's kind of creepy that they were sworn to secrecy to never reveal who R.C. Christian was.
Yeah, it kind of makes me wonder too, like if he was even real or if this was just like a big hoax kind of thing.
Good point. So then, here's where our story gets a little bit weird. I mean, it's already weird, but weirder.
Just a little bit, yeah.
So Christian delivered a scale model of the Guidestones and 10 pages of specifications.
Okay.
That's a lot. Okay. So,
thank you.
So basically, R.C. Christian wanted this monument to be in the center of something. They were really, in the specifications, it was really like, it has to be in the center of the specific area. And since, what's his name? Joe Fendley, he convinced Christian to just buy this farmland, like this area of like 5 acres of farmland outside of the town of Elberton, because otherwise he's gonna have to bring all these stones. He did like traveling cost and moving and like shipping and moving, like that's gonna be a lot. So he convinces him like, hey, just do it here. Oh, also this area is considered the center of Georgia, and it was called this by the Native Americans who used to live here. So he just convinces him to stay outside of Elberton, Georgia. And he also sort of thought, hey, this might be like a cool roadside attraction, bringing tourists and money. The town's gonna love this.
I'll reserve my judgment.
So he convinces him to buy a 5-acre, that's 2 hectares for our non-American friends who the rest of the world. Anyway, yeah, so they got a site that was purchased on October 1st, 1979 from farm owner, Wayne Mullinex, and Mullinex and his children were given lifetime cattle grazing rights on the Guidestone site.
Fair enough.
Fair enough. So on March 22nd, 1980, the monument was unveiled before an audience. And so it was like 100 to 400 people came, and there were camera crews and all this other stuff. A lot of excitement. And then later on, Christian later transferred ownership of the land and the Guidestones to Elbert County. So the Elbert County owns it now. But it was never revealed who the heck that R.C. Christian guy is. Like, nobody knows. Kind of weird. So the whole thing is, it wasn't really it wasn't taken in well received by the townspeople and like the surrounding people of Georgia. There was people have said it was like devil worship and satanic stuff and all that stuff, and then the Satanists came out, and then like the Baptists came out, and they were like devil worship.
Well, when you talk about doomsday stuff and just like the end of the world,
of course,
it gives you some.
It's gonna become polarizing and controversial, and that's But the farmer, who did I say that their name is? The farmer, the Mullinexes, they did say that they allegedly have seen like weird stuff taken, like rituals being done by, they think, like Wiccans or witches or something, or maybe emos in the morning while they have their cattle. Remember, they have cattle grazing rights? They said that they have seen weird stuff.
I mean, that doesn't surprise me, I guess.
Yeah,
like, if it's this
you build it, they will come.
Yeah, like if it's this apocalyptic monument, there's gonna be people that are gonna go there, like check it out, or do something. So have rituals or whatever.
Okay, so these Georgia Guidestones are 4 giant rough edge stones, granite, and they encircle a center slab with a capstone balancing on top. And they weigh 119 tons.
Whew.
So a local pastor immediately professed his belief that the stones were built for cult and devil worship. Again, because of its similar appearance to Stonehenge. So yes, they don't like Stonehenge because we really don't know what Stonehenge was built for. Some people think it's a calendar. Yeah. Some people think it's, again, devil worship or paganism or sacrificial rites stuff were done there. Whatever you want to think. So
I thought it was supposed to be like a clock because like the sun lines up with it at a certain time, or
I've heard
like it's supposed to like celebrate like a festival every year. It's like the solstice of like summer or fall or whatever.
I've heard that too.
But I don't know.
We could do an episode about it, but we could in the future. Okay, so on each side of right now we're doing Georgia Guidestones. So okay, it's a little different. On each, still some devil worship, but a little different. Devil worship in America. So on each side of the capstone, they're engraved in 4 ancient languages, where the words "Let these Guidestones be an age of reason," and written in 8 languages: English, Russian, Mandarin, Arabic, Classic Hebrew, Swahili, Hindi, and Spanish. There were cryptic instructions for rebuilding society post-doomsday. And here are the instructions. Okay? These are not my instructions. These are the Guidestones instructions. Okay? They're kind of creepy. Number 1. Maintain humanity under 500 million in perpetual balance with nature. 2. Guide reproduction wisely, improving fitness and diversity. 3. Unite humanity with a living new language. 4. Rule passion, faith, tradition, and all things with tempered reason. 5. Protect people and nations with fair laws and just courts. 6. Let all nations rule internally, resolving external disputes in a world court. 7. Avoid petty laws and useless officials. 8. Balance personal rights with social duties. 9. Prize truth, beauty, love, seeking harmony with the infinite. 10. Be not a cancer on the earth. Leave room for nature. Leave room for nature. So they repeated "leave room for nature" twice. I wasn't like trying to like be all dramatic and be, but so if you can guess, Katrina, out of any of these weird rules, what rule do people dwell on and repeat the most? The first one. The first rule.
The first one. I was gonna say the last one because it repeats itself. But
Adria! The first rule is
What?
literally like keep people like the human population under 500 million in perpetual
That's a big
balance with
downgrade.
nature. So right now, if I'm mistaken, the world population is 7 billion people.
Yeah, that's
So that's the one that people talk about the most as being like,
okay.
what the heck? What is this for? It's just so creepy.
What's the population of the U.S. right now?
It's 370 million, I think.
Okay.
So yeah, maybe. So are you trying to
bigger
think?
than the U.S.
So are you
just trying to like gauge like the size
Okay,
of
are
like,
you-
how many people that would be?
Okay, are you trying to think like maybe the 500 million is supposed to that maybe they're talking about the United States or something
Well,
or
I'm just like trying to figure out like how many people in like how many people that would be like in general because just kind of trying to compare it to something that I roughly would kind of understand.
Mhm.
Going down to that many is kind of terrifying.
And it's also weird that they picked like certain like 8 languages.
Yeah.
Like why did they pick these 8 languages and not other other ones?
It could be because those are like so like you said, so it was like Russian, English, Chinese, or Mandarin, like Spanish. Like Spanish is one of the biggest languages.
Mandarin Chinese is the big,
Yeah,
and then
Mandarin
it's Spanish, then it's English. Yeah.
Yeah, so like I think at least in my head what I can see with that is like those are the main languages that are spoken, or like if like even if there's a lot of like smaller languages, like people don't speak them as much, like they can understand at least pieces of those languages. Like it can be lumped into those specific ones. So that's I guess how I can wrap my head around those languages. Plus you can't like write every single language.
It's just
this
like
out
a
every single
it's just
language.
honestly to me it just kind of feels like a creepy like Rosetta Stone. Like a
In a way,
creepy
yeah.
doomsday. It's the doomsday Rosetta Stone.
A little bit, yeah. I can see that.
Another weird thing is that it references the age of reason. So on the Guidestones, age of reason, all those letters are capitalized. So that just would reference the age of enlightenment, which was from 1715 to 1789. And that was like a dominant like intellectual and philosophical movement of like new ideas that spread throughout Europe with like Francis Bacon and Isaac Newton and those guys. And then also another thing is the rise of Masonic lodges, which brings me to who is R.C. Christian? What does R.C. Christian stand for? Remember, it's a pseudonym apparently. Christian Rosencross or Christian Rosecross. So the Rosencross is a legendary character that founded the Order of the Rose Cross, and he quickly became one of the most important and mysterious figures of the time, and he blended Christianity with some teachings of Arab and Persian sages. So that Order of the Rose Cross is like the beginning of the Freemasons.
Oh, okay.
So people think that this R.C. Christian is like a member of the Freemasons, and the Freemasons built this or paid money to build this. But it's weird that they wouldn't have Freemasons build this because a Freemason used to be a stonemason.
Yeah, that's true.
Like trained in the art of stonemasonry.
So are you saying that like the Rose Cross is just like a branch of like the stonemason?
It's like pre-Freemasons.
okay.
So they will
Freemasons.
eventually become Freemasons.
Okay, so I wonder if it's just kind of like a branch of it that just like they didn't want to go to like one of their own, I guess, to build it. Maybe they like didn't have the same. Do they have the same views as the Freemasons? Or
I
did things
have
kinda get
no
changed?
idea. I think
Okay.
things have definitely been changed. All I could like find is that things have definitely been changed.
Okay.
We will never know who the heck R.C. Christian is because Joe H. Fenley Sr., remember the guy that was in charge of building this thing, he said they could put a gun to my head and kill me. I will never reveal his real name.
What if he was one of the Freemasons? Like, what if Finley was?
He's been accused of being that.
I mean, like when it gets to this level, like you kind of think like you would be lumped in with that.
He could be. Could not
I mean, that would
be.
make sense, right? Because like they chose him in the middle of Georgia. They put this out in the middle of nowhere, but like he could very well be like a member of this, and like no one would know, and that's why he's so sworn to secrecy. Is because he's trying to protect the other members.
I think I remember this right. I could be wrong, but the other rival Granite company, they started
Okay.
spreading the rumor like, oh, he's part of it. He's like a devil worshiper to try and tank his business.
I mean, with like all the people like opposing it, yeah, that makes sense too. Like, do what you can to make your business better.
But yeah, so it's a mystery, and we'll never know, probably ever know, what it really is for.
I don't think I want to live to that age to know what it's for.
I don't think
to be
I do
honest with you.
either. It's very creepy.
And I kind of wonder too, like, what if nobody, like, if the internet didn't exist, right? So, like, if no one knew besides words of mouth that this thing existed, how would you even know, like, if this end times happened to go there to find this thing?
I don't know. Oh, I forgot another thing. So this has a time capsule,
Really?
but it says to be opened on.
Oh, I don't like
doesn't,
this.
It doesn't have a date.
Oh, really?
Yeah, the date hasn't been filled in, and Joe Fendley, the builder, said that R.C. Christian never gave him anything to put in it, and there wasn't any
Oh,
signs
okay.
of it ever being anything's in there or like construction around it. He
Can you,
just
like, see the time capsule, or is
yeah,
it, like,
there's
buried in
not.
the...
Yeah, you can see the stone that says this is a time capsule. It should be opened on this day, and there's not a date.
Oh,
But there
okay.
isn't any. There's not a real time capsule in there. It's just a plaque.
Huh.
Yes, but
Maybe they're just waiting until things get bad enough and they're like, open this then. I'll put some stuff in.
other conspiracy theories think like again Freemasons did this, and the United Nations, so the UN.
Really?
Yeah, that was a little bit out there. What else? Oh, here's another conspiracy theory. Ted Turner could be involved. So, do you know who Ted Turner is?
No.
He's the owner of TNT and TBS. Turner Classic.
okay.
Yeah, no, yeah, Ted Turner, like a
Okay.
billionaire. So, many
Okay.
locals around the stone believe Ted Turner built the structure. Quote, the rumor here is that Ted Turner built them. Jives with a lot of his beliefs, his big money, and his absolutely zany personality. End quote. And the guy who said that preferred to stay anonymous.
So my accusation is so far out there. Don't say my name. No.
Yeah.
I'm just going off with little straws here, just grasping at straws.
But Yoko Ono, you know who Yoko Ono is, right?
No.
John led from the Beatles. John Lennon, his wife,
Oh, okay.
Yoko.
Oh.
Remember the term "you're breaking up the band," Yoko.
Mm-mm.
Okay. So Yoko Ono is John Lennon's wife. So she is a supporter of the Stones, and she said the words are a quote a stirring call to rational thinking, end quote. The calls she refers to are the instructions for basic concepts required to rebuild civilization following a nuclear doomsday. She's kind of out there. She's pretty out there.
It sounds like it, yeah.
She's like an artist and does
Okay.
yeah, she's a performance artist. That sort of artist. Not painting, but performance art.
Okay.
So anyway, at the end of the day there's two groups of belief for Doomsday Stonehenge. Either you believe it's to help guide people through a nuclear doomsday, or like a cult structure used for pagan rituals and devil worship.
I don't know how to feel about this, 'cause it's like, I mean, you break it down and like some of them seem like the very like obvious things to do to like start up civilization again, and like protect people with nations with fair law and just courts. Like, yeah, that makes sense. Some of it seems very controlling and kind of creepy. I don't know.
Yeah. Since the monument was made, it has been like vandalized a lot, and people have like thrown epoxy onto the slabs, and somebody once covered the whole thing with black fabric, and they spray paint all over it, and like again, and like locals say that witchcraft has taken place at the stones allegedly, and
so they're not liked.
Yep. One of the things I liked was a guy, like a local guy, said like a bunch of teenagers showed up dressed in all black, and they had buckets of chicken blood. So I
Ew.
just picture like a bunch of emos listening like My Chemical Romance, like crying and just throwing chicken blood on these things.
Oh, that's so gross, though.
Yeah. But
Oh.
some other people think it's like the holiest spot on earth. So this guy named Hudson Cone, he says people think it has some like mystical energy to it.
I mean, do what you want, but just don't force people to believe your creepy apocalyptic rituals. And I keep hearing too, like the warnings about like with their global warming and everything, like doomsday will be like in 2050 or whatever, because then we won't have enough supplies or like clean air and water to take care of ourselves. And so like we have to literally do something now, otherwise it's gonna happen. So that makes this even creepier. But yeah, that kept popping up like in the news and like in articles and everything. And it's
So maybe we'll be using these things sooner than we think.
Don't say that. I hate it.
We'll just leave it there.
Alright, should we go into my happy palate cleanser?
Yes.
Okay.
Make us happy.
So I found one of my new favorite websites. It's called allthat'sinteresting.com. It's pretty great. They have a lot of really cool like science and history articles, and like it's pretty fun to click through. One of the articles that I found was really cute. So there's this geologist, Mike Bowers of California. He bought this stone. I think it was an agate. It looked kind of like a geode, but it was like a very elongated geode looking thing. He bought it from Brazil and shipped it to him, and then he cracked it open, and the inside looks like Cookie Monster, like an exact copy of Cookie
Sesame
Monster.
Street.
From Sesame Street.
It really does look like him. It's cute.
So cute. It's so cute. It's like it's bright. So to describe it, so like the rock itself was like an oblong, kind of like a football shape. It was really small though. It was like 4 inches by like 2 inches tall. Anyways, he cracked it open lengthwise, and it's blue on the inside, like Cookie Monster blue. And then there's 2 circles at the top that form to look like eyes that are white with holes in the middle. So it looks like it has pupils. And then in the middle of this blue part, there's what looks like a smile that has like little crystals in it. It's like open, it has crystals like in it, like a geode kind of would have. It's so cute.
I like his smile.
It's so cute. I don't know. It made me smile. I was like, that's a really cute.
What is he gonna do with it? Is post it online?
Yeah, I think it was earlier this year that he bought it. But people have offered to buy it for like $10,000.
Oh my god!
Well, it's like it's incredible. It's such a likeness of this creature.
Sell it.
I'd maybe sell one side of it, but I keep the other side.
Make 20 grand. Sell it.
No, I keep half of it. It's so cute.
That reminds me of like Jesus Cheetos, or when like a peace,
like it, though.
Like a peace stain looks like the Virgin Mary or something.
Ew, I've
or
heard toast. But
yeah. How much did that Jesus Cheeto sell for? Do you remember that?
I remember
and
that.
It didn't
Wasn't
even
it like on like.
It didn't even look like Jesus. She was like, "Oh, it looks like the in Rio de Janeiro with the giant Jesus spread out."
Yeah.
She's like, "It looks like that." It didn't.
It doesn't.
It looked like an IUD, like birth control thing.
Huh.
That's what it looked like, but Cheeto form.
I don't know. I've seen so many of those things, like on like was it Craigslist or like eBay or whatever. And there's so many jokes about it, like people walking by and just eating this chip that supposedly looks like a dog or something.
Oh my gosh! Like, it's
no, but this one, I'll put a picture of
this. This one actually looks like Cookie Monster.
This looks like Cookie Monster. Yeah, I'll put a picture of it up on Instagram so you guys can check it out. And I'll also leave the link to this website so you guys can check it out, read the article and stuff.
Oh my gosh, Katrina! I'm looking at like people or animal shaped Cheetos now that are famous. There's a Harambe Cheeto. So do you remember Harambe, that gorilla from the Ohio Zoo that was, and he became a meme? Okay, so the Harambe Cheeto sells for nearly $100,000.
Are you serious?
I'm dead serious.
People are only offering this guy $10,000 for this.
It really looks like Cookie Monster.
It does.
This
so
doesn't
cute.
even look like
this Cheeto. Looks like a
Cheeto.
It's a Cheeto.
It's supposed to look like a gorilla? What? A certain,
I can kind of see it,
a
but
specific gorilla, Katrina. Not even just a
specific
specific
gorilla.
gorilla. It's supposed to look like Harambe. Yeah, this is what they said. I opened up a bag of flamin' hot Cheetos, and as soon as I looked inside, I came across this unique Cheeto that looked like Harambe the gorilla. And then they sold it
How do you
on eBay.
just like stop at eating your Cheetos and be like, oh, this looks like this thing?
I
I guess sometimes it kind of does. Like you see faces in clouds and like shapes in
Yeah,
clouds. I
but-
guess you could do that with Cheetos,
Mhm.
but
but this isn't.
to actually sell it, I just eat it.
That person is the smart. That person is the smartest person. Can you imagine just finding
Getting 100,000. We should do that.
We
We should
should
go
do
sift
that.
through a couple thousand bags of Cheetos
Find
and
some
find
stuff.
the one.
We should. We should.
That's our new business venture.
Here we go. We're gonna start it. Cheeto that looks like John Stamos. Here we come.
Cheetos are us now on Craigslist.
eBay. We just sell it on eBay.
Just on eBay. Yeah, have a whole store dedicated to Cheetos.
There we go. Hit us up.
Thank you so much, Wanderers, for listening to our podcast. If you'd like to send suggestions for future episodes, if you'd like to talk to us, we'd love to hear from you guys. Send us an email at fwplisteners@gmail.com. So if you guys want to check out the photos, I'll post the photos of the Guidestones and this awesome Cookie Monster agate. I will post the photos on Instagram when this episode comes out
Mhm.
at Foolish Wanderers Podcast. And then check out our YouTube. Subscribe, comment, like our videos on YouTube at Foolish Wanderers Podcast.
And our podcast comes out new episodes every single Wednesday on wherever you get your podcasts.
Yes,
Mhm.
except for Google.
Except for Google.
Oh, my brother said that the Hey Alexa. So the last episode we were talking about, maybe a couple episodes ago, we were talking about we were wondering if the Hey Alexa thing works. Like if someone goes Hey Alexa from your computer,
Yep.
if it'll like
If it-
make your other stuff
yeah.
work.
Does it?
Yeah, it does.
That's
it does.
so
He says
creepy. No. That's disturbing. I'm scared.
it's weird. Yeah, it's weird.
That's weird. Okay. That's weird, people.
Yep.
Hey, Alexa.
Play Foolish Wanderers Podcast. Do 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 do. Okay. All right, guys. Thank you so much for listening. We're gonna see you guys next time.
Bye.
Bye. Just talking about
Poor cat.
cats and Parkay, but border. Parkay! Parkay!
Ay, ay, ay.